By the time we're about 5 or 6 years old, we're usually asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then by high school graduation, it's expected that we know what we're going to do with the next 30 to 40 years of our lives. But then half of that time goes by and you realize you still don't know. If you've lived long enough, at some point or another, you've asked yourself this question. What on earth am I doing here? With the emergence of social media and endless scrolling, we're constantly being bombarded with updates and reminders that we're not exactly where we thought we might be. This applies to our jobs, careers, our finances, and even worse, our family lives. For example, there's the constant pressure to find the one, and from there, get married. And then when you get married, now it's time to have a baby. And even once that's accomplished, when are you gonna have another one? I mean, after all, they need someone to play with, right? There's this constant reminder of being behind in life that contributes to our anxiety, and this ongoing pressure that keeps us wanting the next season's harvest now. I can remember being about 5 or 6 years old, standing in front of the mirror for hours, trying to figure out the meaning of life. Where did it all come from? Who or what was here first? And if God created it all, well, then who created God? That question has set me on a constant path of self-discovery throughout the years and has widely contributed to me picking up a camera in the first place. But who am I? Let's start there. Hey, I'm Mark Lee, a 30-something-year-old first-generation American who is mildly overweight and lives in Florida with his dog West. And in case you were wondering, yes, he was named after this guy. There's a scripture that says that love is patient, love is kind, and though the task of achieving this when it comes to loving others might prove difficult, sometimes the more difficult task in achieving this is when it comes to loving ourselves. If you're anything like me, then it's been easy at one point or another to look at your peers and your family members and somehow feel that life has either passed you by or, even worse, forgotten about you. But take heart. That is not completely true. There's a saying that if you want to make God laugh, tell him about your plans. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine some years back, and I remember we were somewhere in our early to mid-20s, and I said to him, man, you're so lucky. You're married with 3 kids, you have a family. I remember he looked at me and said, man, you're so lucky. You're single. So as you can imagine, this completely threw me off. His brutal transparency, his honesty. But the more I sat with what he said, the more I realized that he was right. They say that hindsight is 20/20, and once I've since discovered in my time of singleness is that will be the time that will completely change my life. It will be in that time where I got to travel the world. It will be in that time where I would discover my love and passion for design and completely change careers. It will be that time where I was able to start a YouTube channel and work and collab with countless brands and different creatives and just develop and build so many awesome relationships. I realized that it was in that time that the very thing that I was praying for and desiring and wanting, life was in a way preparing me to receive those things. And had I gotten those things then, I can't say that I would have been quite as prepared or even ready to receive it. I might have messed it up for all I know. No way is this video about marriage or having babies. This video is about comparison and sometimes feeling like we're behind, that we are late to the race, and that everyone in life is doing things so much better at a faster rate of speed, and we're just stuck. So this might be my experience. I'm not saying this is your experience, but what I'm saying is life isn't a race. We are all just trying to figure it out, and we're all trying to do the best that we can with what we have. I believe that life, in a lot of ways, is like deciding on the color of paint. You don't quite know if it'll work out, but you try it anyways. You see what is, what was, and then piece by piece, wall by wall, you continue to paint. And then you paint some more, and then pretty soon you start to see a new reality. It starts to look different. And before you know it, you look up, and it is.
I miss when I had superpowers. My imagination was my friend and it ran wild and free. I could waste a couple hours without a worry in the world, staring at stars out on my trampoline. I miss when Andy MacArthur was the fastest kid there ever was, and kid there was ever gonna be. Ken Griffey Jr. was a giant before parents got divorced, and I learned that there was gravity. I miss my old heroes. I had to give them all away. I miss my old heroes. Yeah, yeah. God, I wish they could have stayed. 'Cause it turns out that the hardest part of growing up's not getting old. Just learn how the real world goes. I miss my old, I miss my old.
I believe that everyone's life was designed to be different. If it all looked the same and everything happened at the same time, what fun would that be? We're always in this constant pursuit of happiness with the end goal on our minds, but I've realized it isn't happiness we should be pursuing, but rather the pursuit itself. Being present for the journey, the details. As for the rest of it, it'll all just take care of itself.